That's so weird to everyone else that you would have your husband's ex-wife move in with you. I mean, we do a lot for our children, but that seems like a little above and beyond, and especially for 3 years.
This is the plaintiff, Amber Perez Toledo. She says the defendant is the ex-wife of her husband, Caesar, and she moved in with him, and the ingrate owes them money for rent, utilities, and furniture, and refuses to pay. She has no other choice but to sue, and is doing just that today. For the $4,913.59 she says she's owed. This is the defendant, Tanya Gonzalez Perez. She says the living situation wasn't ideal, but they got into this arrangement for the sake of their kids. She can't believe the plaintiff is actually suing her for rent. It's one thing after another, and she just wants to move on from this whole situation. She's accused of freeloading.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milian is now presiding. Litigants have been sworn.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Ms. Perez Toledo, you are suing your, let's get this right, your husband's ex-wife, Ms. Gonzalez Perez, correct?
Yes, Judge.
Out of a living situation that you all had that kind of went a little bit sour. Tell me what happened.
Okay, so Tanya moved in with us in 2016, the end of the year, because she was evicted from her previous house. And like she said, for the sake of the children, I offered her to move in with me. It was supposed to be for a few months for her to get on her feet, to save up enough money and get a new home. It turned out to be 3.5 years. Towards the end,
that's so weird to everyone else that you would have your husband's ex-wife move in with you. I mean, we do a lot for our children, but that seems like a little above and beyond, and especially for 3 years. So what exactly was going on there? I mean, it's bizarre to me. Why did this go on for 3 years?
It wasn't supposed to be 3 years, Your Honor. It was supposed to be for her to get on her feet. So I got to a point where the situation just got worse and worse and worse. So it was time for me, I didn't want to live in the situation anymore. So my husband and I started looking for a home.
Okay, can I ask you, did you guys get along, or did you not get along, or what was unbearable about the situation other than the obvious? Because the obvious would stop me from moving in with her, but it didn't stop you. So what was so unbearable? What was the problem?
So at first we did get along. We did what we had to do as a large family. We did the best we could. And it's the obvious. Obviously, it was a really awkward situation to begin with. It didn't get any better. And then, if I'm going to be honest with you, Tanya doesn't cook, she doesn't clean. I was the bearer of all that. And it was really difficult to sit there and clean for 9 people and cook for 9 people. On top of it's a whole bunch. I can go on for years and tell you a whole bunch of different stories. It didn't work. It wasn't a good living relationship for either of us, or more so for the kids. It was a confusing, and it's not a good living situation. So we started looking for a home. We found a home. We moved out, and my husband was picking up the kids every day while Tanya works. We started noticing that the girls would come home over to his house. They were dirty. They smelled like cigarettes. We'd bathe them. They were always hungry. When we came back in, there was a rat infestation. There was rat feces everywhere. Their daughter Angelina walked over to the stove with a baño or a sponge and wiped all the poop off the stove onto the floor. I was mortified.
All right, let me ask you a question. The house that Ms. Gonzalez Perez was living in with you belongs to whom?
My aunt.
And and your aunt is part of this lawsuit. You have power of attorney to represent her here today, and that's why you're suing for rent. But tell me what happens. You're suing for May rent and June rent. And what happened in May and June of 2019?
And in April of 2019, DCF got involved and removed the kids from Tanya for neglect.
Who called DCF on her?
6 different people.
It wasn't 6 different
did?
people. It was the school.
Did, the therapist
If you
did,
don't know,
the
if
therapist.
you don't know about it, then shut up.
Anyways, when that happened, the stress of that for her, along with the fact that the house was, she had gotten these cats and dogs, and there was feces everywhere, there was urine everywhere, the house stunk, you couldn't go to the front door without smelling it. It was just a dirty living environment. So the kids got removed, the stress from that, and I think the living conditions caused her to go into a coma. She got sick. And when she got sick, my husband and I and my husband's family went to the house and we cleaned it for her. And I submitted all those pictures to you. I don't know if you want me to pull them up for you. We cleaned the house for her so that she wouldn't 100% lose the kids. We also got an ex parte at that time as well for residential custody. And then, so she didn't pay the 1 month because she had gone into the coma. And then when she woke up from the coma, she went to go live with her brother. And I don't think she really knew for sure what she was going to do right yet. I think the doctors had told her not to come back to the house, something like that. And so she just didn't come back. She had been
What
in
was wrong with the house?
I think because of her health conditions. She'd have to answer that, Judge. I don't know exactly what they told her, to be honest with you.
I'd like her to answer that. Ms. Gonzalez Perez, what happened with your health in May of 2019?
I have an autoimmune disease. I have fibromyalgia. And with the state of the house, they told me that they didn't want me going back there by myself. I would be living in the house essentially alone, and they didn't want that.
But what's the state of the house everybody keeps referring to? What's wrong with the house?
Well, Amber states that this just happened miraculously when they moved out. There was this rat infestation. No, there was this mouse that turned into a rat infestation long before they moved out. Okay. So it's not something that was new to them. And so that way you understand a little bit better about the whole situation. The reason why we moved in together was because Amber and I both were losing our places to live. And we figured Caesar came up with an idea. And at that time, Caesar was married to me. We didn't get divorced until September of 2018. So the entire time we lived in that house, he was married to me.
Not the entire time.
Well, that makes it even weirder. That makes it even stranger and more uncomfortable for everybody. How'd that work out for the kids?
The kids, the younger kids barely knew anything different. It's the older kids that it affected. It truly affected. They ended up with things like anxiety and depression and things of that nature.
Okay. So what was wrong with the house? Besides the rat infestation, my understanding is that there was mold problem.
There was a severe mold problem coming from the basement. The basement waterlogged completely, black mold everywhere. And that was just not conducive.
You went into the hospital with what?
A severe roaring pneumonia.
How long were you in a coma, Ms. Gonzalez Perez?
For a week.
Wow. I mean, so you are suing for rent from May and June of 2019 on behalf of your aunt. And I'm just kind of curious, what happened to make you file this lawsuit 2 years later? Why now?
I'll give you 3 reasons, Judge. The first reason is I wanted to give her ample time because I know she has a situation. She's just being by herself, and I think it was fair to her to give her that ample time. The second reason is because she stole money from us, and I'm tired of her playing the victim. Yes, that's what I said.
How did she steal money from you?
So we had, like I said, we had residential custody of the girls in 2019. We had all 3 girls in 2019 to 2020. She claimed the 2 younger kids, Melody and Isabella, both in 2019 and 2020, kept those tax money and kept the stimulus money for all of them. She paid child support for 4 times in 2 years, and then took the stimulus money that we just got like 2 weeks ago and paid off the child support because my husband put her in for contempt. And then said, well, I had to because I had a problem.
First of all, I've been claiming my children since they were born. Okay?
They don't live with you. You have no right.
Yeah, but if you don't have custody of them, stop a second. If you don't have custody of them, you can't claim that you're supporting them if someone else is supporting them. Then the children are their tax deduction. Are you suggesting that you were providing 50% of the support for those children?
Not completely, no.
Okay, well then you're not supposed to claim the
completely wrong.
deduction. But I'm not here about. All right, everybody stop though. I'm not here. I wanted to know why I was here, and
No,
that may be why I'm really here. But let's discuss what's
none
on
of
the
our
table
business.
right now. Oh, by the way, where is your husband, Ms. Perez Toledo? He didn't want to be here.
He is working. He's a sole provider for us because it's just us, and he's working to provide.
Okay, I bet he'd rather be anywhere other than here anyway. Because I'd have some good questions for him about this whole thing. Now, let's discuss rent in May and rent in June. You feel that you do not owe that. Why, Ms. Gonzalez Perez?
I maybe owe May because that was the month I was released from the hospital the second week of May. And I can sit there and say, you know what? Okay, well, I didn't give her ample enough time. So, okay, if you want to charge me May, I could sit there and say, yeah, I can concede to that. But June, no.
Okay. Did you have a lease in that house or no? You were on a month-to-month?
No, I did not.
It's the one that you signed on to get food stamps and to get the kids into school, Tanya. Or were you popping too many pills to remember that?
Wow, Amber, really? You want to go there?
I did it until you saw the stimulus and taxes.
Okay, everybody stop. Is this your signature, Ms. Gonzalez Perez?
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, that is a lease from 2016. Do you have a lease that would cover 2019, which is the year that we're talking about, Ms. Perez Toledo?
That was all encompassing. It was a month and cover the whole time that she was there because she wasn't supposed to be there
Oh,
for
so
3.5 years.
it is a month to month. All right. Well, but that's fine. So it's a month to month. So why isn't she right that she would only have to give you 1 month of? She didn't give you notice, so she's giving you 1 month notice now. Why isn't that right?
She never gave us any notice, and it was the end of the month when she moved out. And so the house was left vacant.
I gave it to Caesar. Caesar knew.
The house kind
Caesar
of
knew
put her
when-
in the hospital, didn't it?
No,
Caesar
her not
knew.
cleaning the house put her in the hospital.
So you say.
Not cleaning the house. All right. Let's look at the pictures.
So you say.
Let's look at the pictures.
I don't have pictures to prove it. I don't have to say anything. The proof is there.
These are pictures of what?
That is feces on a blanket, feces and urine.
How many animals were living there?
2 cats.
More than 2.
What?
No, it was just 2 cats.
And Bea and Draco.
Bea wasn't living with me. Draco wasn't living
Okay,
with me.
what
You
is-
guys took them.
What is this that I'm looking at?
That is the mattress that I also claimed. And the
but
mess.
what happened to the mattress?
She didn't clean her sheets, so she used to sleep on her bed with no sheets. She smoked, and cats and dogs and rats and you name it. I don't know.
Oh my God, Amber, please.
What happened to
Please,
this
you're
bed,
going
Ms.
to hell.
Gonzalez Perez? What happened to this bed?
That
Why does
bed,
it look like that?
Your Honor, originally was old to begin with. Okay? Very old. Okay? Yes.
What
there were
happened to
times
it,
I
though?
didn't put a sheet on my bed, but there wasn't, as far as me smoking, really. And animals were
did.
not allowed in my bed. The animals didn't even come into my room.
Is this a picture of how your refrigerator looks?
That
Correct.
refrigerator was broken, Your Honor, and that refrigerator broke when they were living in the house.
That's not true. I bought that refrigerator.
Yes, it is.
I put it in there.
Yeah, when we first moved in.
That's feces.
And that's garbage
What
that
is
you all piled up. That is the floor that's rotted with mold.
That's the floor that's right with
Is this in the
urine and
basement?
feces. No, that is behind the refrigerator. Well, they fit the refrigerator out because it was broken when we cleaned the house. This was in the process of us cleaning. We took these pictures.
Did you move her out when you cleaned the house or no?
Yes and no to that, if I can explain. She came back one time after she got out of her coma, and she picked up some of her stuff from her room. And then I asked her 3 times, do you want anything? Because now's the time to take it. Otherwise, it's all going to go in the trash. And she says, I don't want anything. I said, I'm asking you more time because I don't want a problem later on. She said she didn't want anything. It all went into the trash. She took nothing but a few items from her room, but it wasn't a lot of things. It was like my dresser, which I'm claiming. I think a table and chairs.
Do you
She
owe
could tell
her
you what
any
else was in
money,
there.
Ms. Gonzalez Perez? Do you owe her any money for the dresser?
Maybe half, because I do believe I paid her $75 towards it.
Is that accurate, Ms. Perez
No, I'm
Toledo?
pretty sure it was 50.
No, it wasn't.
So then what, so why, you're not giving her any credit for the money that she did pay you?
No, I did because I had it sold for $200. We agreed on $200. I'm pretty sure she gave me 50. So then I'm suing her for the 150 difference of the 50 she gave me. If she could prove a 75, then fine. But I'm pretty sure it was 50. And that's the dresser.
The dumpster rental. When did you rent a dumpster?
I'm gonna look at the date on the receipt, Your Honor, because I don't remember exactly. My aunt rented the dumpster, 7/22/19.
She hired a dumpster. Why?
She had put the paperwork in. There was a lot of stuff that was left behind. There was the dressers, there was the mattresses, and in the garage there was a whole bunch of bins and stuff like that. The refrigerator had to get thrown out as well.
How old was that mattress?
I had just bought it. Well, I had bought it a few months before I had
Show
moved
me a
out.
receipt.
I don't have a receipt, Your Honor. I bought it used, but it was not nasty.
Okay. Based on what I've heard, I find as follows. I agree with the defendant that as she concedes, she should have to pay for May because of no notice, but that's sufficient. She doesn't also have to pay for June. I am going to order her to pay a portion of the cleaning fee, a portion of the dumpster, and the remainder of the dresser, and an estimated amount for a used mattress, which you have to understand is not very much at all. And that total comes to $1,875, verdict for the plaintiff. Good luck, ladies.
Thank you.
Ms. Gonzalez-Perez, the defendant, what do you think about the judge's decision?
It was fair.
All right, so you're okay with that?
Yep.
Very good. All right, Ms. Perez-Toledo, well, it certainly was a most unusual living situation. That's all over now, is that right? Am I right about that?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And you won't do that again, I assume.
No.
Long time.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. All right, that'll wrap
Have
up
a good
this
day.
amazing case. No kidding. All right, Harvey, what do you think about this one?
Doug, look, I mean, this is just such a bizarre case where this woman is moving in with the ex and all that. But the rule should be universal, that when you have a situation where somebody moves in and you expect them to pay money, you got to put it in writing and you got to do it up front. I mean, even if it's uncomfortable, what's more uncomfortable? Getting it in writing or not getting in writing and ending up in court? I think you can answer that.
Do you keep read receipts on? Do you share your location with each other? Marilyn?
Do you know what read receipts is?
No, but I'm dying to learn. So tell me what read receipts is.
So you have a setting in your phone, which if you turn it on, others will know if you read their text.
And I didn't respond immediately or something?
Correct.
Oh my God.
So I would never keep read receipts on.
Is there some kind of a counter spell?
Yeah, turn it off. That way people don't, and then you've always got the excuse, I was busy, I didn't read it,
Gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, and the other issue is, do you keep track of each other's locations?
We do.
With these
you
devices?
and I, that's a secret to a happy
You
marriage.
have a low jack on me, and I have a low jack on you, so we follow each other.
You don't really care where I am. I constantly care where you are. So you either play a lot of golf or you're seeing somebody at the golf club.
Right.
Yeah, it's one or the other. You're having an affair with someone in the golf because every time I track you, I'm like, what is he doing? Dude, you can't possibly,
the only time it really becomes a problem is if you want to shop for something as a surprise for me and go to a particular place, or if I want to do that for you. So if it's ever turned off on me, it just means I'm shopping for you.
Oh, is that what it is? Right.
Or something
Yeah, I'm not buying that. Okay.
No?
No.
All right.
This is the plaintiff, Shawanda Joseph. She says her twin granddaughters were walking her dog, and the defendant's vicious beast attacked and killed her poor little dog, Roman. Her dog didn't survive. His death is on the defendant, and this guy must pay her the $1,831.66 he owes. Because this has been a traumatic experience for everyone involved, so she's suing him. This is the defendant, Gary Badgett. He says his neighbor, the plaintiff, is trying to take advantage of an unfortunate situation and is trying to blow things out of proportion because she's greedy and has dollar signs in her eyes. Owe her all this money, please. He's accused of roughing up Roman.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says her poor dog Roman was viciously killed by the defendant's beast. It was a horrible, horrible attack. The defendant is saying that this is an unfortunate situation. The plaintiff's dog was not on a leash, and he owes zero, therefore. It's the case of the fall of Roman.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Ms. Joseph, tell me
Yes.
what happened here.
When he first tried to get in the community, we had interviewed him, and he asked us, because I'm on the board, asked us could he have those kind of dogs, and we told him no. Those dogs are
What
not
kind of dogs?
permitted. A massive bulldog, I believe he had, and it
Okay.
was not permitted in the community because it's a small community. A couple of weeks later, he had the dog. He had the dog for like a couple of weeks or a couple of months. So the dog went after I had two dogs. One was named Roman and one was named DeVille. His dog went after DeVille, and that's when he bit DeVille in the mouth. I took DeVille to the vet and had DeVille fixed and everything. The second time he came after
That first time, according to you, is when? In May of 2018?
Yes.
All right. So according to you, he is told not to bring the dog. He brings the dog, and the dog attacks one of your other dogs in May of 2018. Did you call
Yes.
animal control, or do you have a police report to show me about that?
No, I didn't call animal.
And I did see that you provided a bill for that day. Do you have the
Okay.
actual doctor's notes that talk about what happened, where I could see
Yes, I
that
sent
you
them to
say
her.
there? Because, okay, no,
sent
what
them
you've
to her.
sent us is just the invoice with the amount. It doesn't have the doctor's notes that say what happened to the dog. Mr. Badgett, we're going to talk about what happened in this case in just one moment, but according to Ms. Joseph, your dog has gotten out. What kind of dog is this?
He's a bully, a small pit bull, a low
A small
rider. He's
pit
like-
bull. How
Yeah,
small
he's
is
about,
your small
about
pit bull?
45 pounds. About 45 pounds.
Okay. And your small pit bull is not supposed to be at that place, according to her. They told you couldn't bring your pit bull. And you brought the pit bull anyway?
That's not what happened. Her dogs was always off the leash when she lets them out the door, and they ran up on him. And they always would run up on him, but this one particular time, my dog, he just kind of got a little aggravated with one of them for, attacking him, and he grabbed him up, but they wasn't on a leash. He didn't cause any damage. The dog, went on about his way, and she came out apologizing, saying how sorry she was because the dogs wasn't on a leash. From that moment on, she didn't, talk to me anymore. So then this second incident, I wasn't even out there with the dog. My girl at the time was.
Before you get to the second incident, in the first incident, were you walking your dog in the middle of the road?
Yes, ma'am. On a leash, yes.
Was your dog on a leash? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So now, on this second incident, which is the one in question, her granddaughter, how old are your granddaughters, Ms. Joseph?
I have a set of twins. They're 10 years old now. They just turned
10 years old. So they're
10.
So the twins were walking their dogs, and according to her, your dog got out. Your pit bull got loose. How did your pit bull get loose?
At the time, my girlfriend was letting him out outside or whatever. She didn't secure him well.
So what happened? The dog accidentally got out?
Yeah, he was off his leash. I wasn't there at the time when it happened. But
Well, you
he
were
got
there.
off the
You were
leash.
asleep, right? You were in that
Right.
in your house. You were just asleep.
Right,
Okay.
in my
Yeah,
house,
you were
right.
there. Right.
Yeah.
So how did the dog get out? That's my question.
Like I say, his leash wasn't his leash wasn't secured to his collar, so some kind of way he wasn't secured all the way, and he got loose, and he was like up under the garage.
Well, he wasn't up under the garage. He went to her dog and killed it. How long had you had the dog, Ms. Joseph?
We had the dog about 6-7 years. And can I explain something to you, ma'am? on the second event,
Yes.
when this dog came after my dog, when my girls was walking the dog the second time, the dog went after the dog again. He had to go take his water hose and beat his dog down for not attacking or hurting the girl. The girls was all scratched up. Their knees was all scratched up from running in the road. He took his water hose and beat his dog down for not hurting my granddaughters. That was the second time. And then the third time, my dog, that's when he killed the dog. And that's my dog right there.
I'm so sorry, ma'am. When you got to the vet told you there's no saving the dog, and you spent $257.16 in order to cremate the dog, correct?
Yes. They told me
And you had told Mr. Badgett when animal control or the police came and talked to you, you said you were going to pay that. What happened? Because you didn't.
Well, at the time when I scheduled a sit down to talk with her, she started switching up, saying that, oh, she wants to have someone sit in and she wants to, start recording me and all this. And I was like, and it just was just becoming too much. And I just was like, hey, if it's all this, we can just, go to the courts, because I don't, want to go back and forth with her. Sitting down with her was just not an option to me. I didn't really have too much conversation.
Well, then just pay the bill. Why didn't you just pay the bill?
And I
mean, in
did
other words,
that.
Mr. Badgett. Right,
The
but you
lady-
didn't pay the bill, Mr. Badgett. You didn't pay the bill. You didn't. So, you can stand here and say, oh, I was going to pay the bill, but that doesn't make you a good guy. You didn't pay the bill. So you are also suing for, besides that bill, you're suing for $500 for the value of the dog. And your response to that, Mr. Badgett?
Well, I don't know how much a dog is worth, but my dog is worth. He's valuable too. But I got rid of my dog, and I do. I'm sorry for her loss, but I don't feel that I have to pay the $500.
Why not?
Well, because it wasn't on me. I didn't let him out, and it was a tragedy. It was a tragedy. I didn't have anything to do with that. But I am the
you're
owner.
responsible. It's your dog. You shouldn't have somebody
Right.
else taking care of your dog while you're asleep that doesn't know how to keep a pit bull in the house. And your answer when she asked for $500 for her dog, your answer to that part of the complaint was, and I quote, I don't owe them a new dog. Their dog that died was old. And I heard from someone who we both know that the dog was supposed to have been put down a long time ago, but they didn't have the money to do it. I mean, so you don't feel that the dog is worth the $500. All right. Now you're suing for $1,000, Ms. Joseph, for pain and suffering. Whose pain and suffering are you referring to? Are you referring to your own because your pet died, your grandchildren? Do you have any evidence of what happened to the grandchildren? You said they were all scraped up. Do you have any pictures of that?
No, I don't have the pictures of it.
Okay. So did he really, how did you, when you say you got rid of the dog, how did you get rid of the dog, Mr. Badgett?
No, he didn't get rid of it. We just heard the dog in the garage.
Okay, give me a moment, Ms. Joseph. Mr. Badgett,
Sorry.
how did you, quote, get rid of the dog?
I posted him on Facebook, and one of my Facebook friends came and took him, and they adopted him.
Okay, well, she's hearing the dog barking. Do you have a different dog?
No, I have no other dog here in my home. I don't have the dog
So she's just
anymore.
wrong when she says that they hear the dog barking.
Yeah,
That's not true.
this is what she does.
You can talk to my grandkids. My grandkids wouldn't have to lie to you about anything. I got them on there. They here to talk with you. My 10-year-old grandkids is here. When I would call him and try to
Let me
call
talk to
him,
the 10-year-old grandkids.
come girls, come. Y'all sit. Sit there. Come sit, baby. I'm trying to get them my headphone.
Yeah.
Put them in.
Hi,
Hi, my dear. How old are you?
10.
Okay. Do you know the difference between a truth and a lie? Okay. We're going to have you raise your right hand, and you have to answer out loud, not just nodding your head. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. So what's your name? You can put your hand down. What's your name?
Kalia.
Kalia. You know what we're here talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay. When that happened, I would think that was pretty scary for you, right?
Yes.
All right. Can you tell me what happened?
When we were going to walk the dog, we went like past his garage, and then it looked like the dog wasn't on the leash. We think the dog wouldn't do anything; it would just sit there. But then started barking and coming after us, so we had to run into the house. But then it's like I tripped over something, and then I looked back, and then DeVille is already in the house, but then Roman is like limping to the door, and I try to pick him up, but then the dog is still running, and then he stops by our grass. Then it's like he poops on the grass, and then he he just stops attacking us after we get out the house.
Okay. How did the attack stop? Do you know? Or were you
No,
inside the house?
we were already
Okay.
inside the house.
All right. When you say you tripped, what happened to you because of the trip?
Well, I just had a little scratch on my knee.
Okay. Let me talk to your sister. Hi.
Hi.
Could I ask you to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. You know the difference between a truth and a lie, right?
Yes.
All right, why don't you tell me what happened that day?
Okay, so it's Wednesday and it was the afternoon, and we were walking both of our dogs, Roman and DeVille, and we walked past the garage, and the dog wasn't on a leash, and the dog came running out of the garage, and basically me and my sister ran inside, and DeVille ran inside, and when I looked back, the big dog had Roman in its mouth doing this, and we picked the
Okay.
dog up, Roman, and we went inside. And when we went inside, we saw the dog poop on our grass, and that's
Okay.
basically what happened.
Okay, darling, thank you very much. I appreciate your testimony and your sisters. Can you get your grandma back up there?
Girl, she did a great job.
They sure did, right?
Ma'am, can I say one more thing to you?
Sure.
He sent me a letter, told me, like, if I take him to court, what's gonna happen, like extortion me, and talking about my grandchildren is going. I have custody of 4 grandkids. All 4 of these are my grandchildren. I have custody of them. Their mothers and fathers nowhere in their life. I had them since they was born, and everybody know I love my grandkids. I would do anything for my grandkids. He told me if I take him to court, what he's gonna do, have DCF come out and remove my kids from my house if I take him to court. When I told him
Can
I
I
would
speak,
meet
Your
with the
Honor?
board member.
Yes, Mr. Badgett, would you like to respond to the allegation that she just made?
Well, like I was saying, I stated with her, I caught her grandsons breaking into cars in the complex. And I did the right thing as a neighbor and to come tell her instead of calling the police and have them arrested. You know, she doesn't like the fact that, that I caught her grandsons breaking into cars. So this whole thing about the dog situation is like sort of like a retaliation.
Did you ever threaten to call DCF? Did you ever threaten to call DCF on the kids, like she said?
Yes, because they're outside at 3 a.m. while she's asleep and doesn't even know it. I had to
The
I had to
10-year-olds?
make them. Yes, these are little boys with hoodies on. I caught them breaking it. I have neighbors and everything to
Oh, you're not
confirm
talking
all of this.
about the twin girls.
No, she has two grandboys as well. She's not being
How old are
responsible
they?
watching these kids. They're like
My
How old
not
are
even
they?
much older than the girls.
My grandson is.
How old
I
are
have
they?
one grandson is 16 and one is 15. When they did that, they was 9 and 8 years old. They went in. They went
That's
in his
sad.
car and I
That's
tucked
very
my
sad.
wait. I tucked my kids to him. I took it was not them. It was all the kids. It was a lot of kids. I took my grandson to him and made my grandson apologize. He even said it on the letter that you brought your grandkids to me and apologize. Yes, I did, because they was wrong.
Where's the letter?
Yes, I took my grandkids to you
Where's
to
the letter?
apologize to you and let them. You said
I don't
that
need
in
to
your
see the
thing.
letter.
You said-
I don't need to see the
You
letter.
said that in here.
I don't need to see the letter. Why are you saying, where's the letter, where's the letter? You got a bad attitude
Because-
for a guy whose pit bull killed their dog. You
No,
know,
Judge,
like I'm not
listen,
seeing that milk
I'm-
of human kindness.
But Judge, I'm saying,
Especially when you threaten a grandmother, stop talking. When you threaten a woman who has stepped up to the plate in a way that the parents didn't, in order to raise those 4 children in that household with that level of love and care, that she drags them over there to apologize to you when they did something wrong. And the best you can do is reach back 6 years ago to something that they did, and you're threatening her that you're going to call DCF on her. When have you ever
Because
called
they're
the
still
police
doing
because
it.
somebody
They
was
still
roaming?
doing it. They still
Excuse me,
doing it.
Mr. Badgett, show me the police report from when you ever called the police about something legitimate.
I
What
didn't
you were
call the
doing was
police.
threatening her.
I said I
Yeah.
didn't call the police.
No, they're
But you're
still
obviously
doing it.
taking her
They're
side.
15 and
So
16
it's
now.
whatever.
So
Right.
show me how you did that now. Called the police now for what you say they are
didn't-
still doing.
I'm
no,
not here
right?
for that.
Okay.
I'm not here for
No.
that.
Okay, Ms. Joseph, God bless you for the efforts that you are making, because at a time when you ought to be sitting back and enjoying your life,
Thank you.
instead you are sitting around doing other people's jobs. I'm sorry for the loss of your dog. I'm going to order him to pay the cremation costs. I'm going to order him to pay $500 for the value of your dog, and I'm going to order him to pay $500 for the injuries. I don't care how small they were injuries, and I really don't like his attitude about this. You know, his dog kills your dog, and it's like, I'm going to call DCF on you if you go to court. No kidding. $1,257.16, verdict for the plaintiff.
Mr. Badgett, what do you think about that? You didn't come off very well in this case. I assume you know that.
It doesn't matter to me. You know, the judge took her side from the beginning, so whatever.
Well, you look really bad. Your dog killed, your dog killed their dog.
Hey, dogs, he has a mind of his
really
own. He has a mind of his own. I have no control over that.
Well, you're the owner. You're the owner of the dog, so you're on the hook for it, you know? You can't deny that.
I agree to pay, boss.
One of the things that you have to own when you own a dog. You're responsible for it.
You're right. You're right.
All right. You got to pay her, like it or not. That's it. All right, Ms. Joseph, let me ask you how you feel about I know, you're not getting along with him, but the judge really found for you in every situation here. How you feel about it?
I feel great about it. I really feel great about it. I'm going to take my girls out and we're going to get a new dog. We're going to get something for them, because that really hurt them to see their dog was in pain like that. I mean, it's not right.
All righty. Well, listen, congratulations to you. I'm glad you won the case. All right. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Good luck to you now. All right. Good luck with a new dog. Okay. Hope it works out well. All right. Harvey?
Okay, Doug, the reason the plaintiff got money for her granddaughter's injury, even though the dog didn't attack the granddaughter injured herself during the attack, and that's enough to get the money.
The question is, are either of you a collector of anything?
I'm not really a collector of any particular items. No, before you get started. But we kind of collect experiences more than stuff, I would say. I mean, because we like to, watch sunsets together. We like to go on hikes with family, kind of do things outdoors as much as we can, wouldn't you say?
That
Travel.
sounds really sweet and romantic, except you have 5 pinball machines.
That is true.
I think you're trying to divert attention from the fact that
I knew you were going to go there.
Right, exactly. So you're trying to take me hiking and sunsets. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an addiction.
Yeah.
I do admit.